normally say the elephant in the room. I had to use the elephant in the city, but it's about Nairobi County and its functions, some of these functions being transferred to the national government. Let's take a look at Nairobi County in terms of functions and powers that the county has. And one of them is agriculture, of course. It has 14 functions: county health services, control of air pollution, noise pollution. So DJs can relate to this, actually, noise pollution. There's been a crackdown and whatnot. Moving on to the next one, we want to take a look at revenue. Those are just some of the functions. Yeah, revenue collected by Nairobi County in the financial year 2017-2018 stood at 10.11 billion shillings, and 2018-2019 10.25 billion shillings. We want to compare this with revenue allocation, equitable allocation to the counties for the year 2017-2018. It stood at 15.4, and 2018-2019 15.79. This financial is being expected to be at 16.8 billion shillings. But that's notwithstanding, we look at the county's productivity in relation to the national GDP, and in the year 2013 to 2017 it contributed 21.7% of the GDP, and that is quite a figure. And that's why we want to understand, with this transfer of some of these duties, how will the county be managed? That's the big question right now. I'm joined by Mr. Kinuthia Mwangi, who is the former chair of the Transitional Authority, which was the body charged with the transfer of functions from the national government to the county government when devolution was introduced. Mr. Mwangi, thank you very much for speaking to us.
Thank you very much.
This issue of transfer, because they have taken only 4 aspects of the county, mandates to the people of Nairobi County.
Yes.
And the whole list is close to 14, duties of the county to the people. What happens to the rest of the 10?
Well, you see, the county has not been dissolved.
Mm-hmm.
And therefore, the others continue to be performed the way they were performed before. And these others, the law provides that a county may decide to transfer one function to another level of government where it will be performed more efficiently. Mm-hmm. But being performed efficiently, it's on an agency basis. It's not that it has gone and it's now a national function. Mm-hmm. The national government is performing that duty on an agency basis. Mm-hmm. That's why we say that constitutionally, the body responsible for that function is the one that's transferring. Mm-hmm. But you have asked somebody else to transfer it. Mm-hmm. Just like you can ask, we ask some of the people to collect traffic fees. Mm-hmm. And it does not mean that they have taken over. Mm. So the government, national government, is playing the same role even now. Yes,
definitely.
And that's why we say whatever will be earned through those functions will be returned to the county.
Yes.
Through the KRA.
Yeah,
yes.
We see Nairobi County is quite a revenue hub. Yes. As a county, on-source revenue generation. Yes. As a county, it's been performing pretty well compared to other counties. Yes. Looking at this transition, handling of the county budget, if the government is handling the four aspects of it, how do we play around with the budget? Will the budget be discussed on a national level? How does that play out?
No. Mm-hmm. The budget remains, and the budget transaction remains the way it has always been, and is always. And like when you say that the resources of that function will be transferred together with the function, it means it is anticipated that there has already been provided for in the budget. Mm-hmm. And if it has not, you try to refer back to what has been allocated before, and you just transfer an equivalent amount of resources to enable the national government to carry out that function.
Definitely.
Yes.
We saw Nairobi County was in a very unique position where, we had a county governor without a deputy.
Yes.
And a lot of talks in regards to Article 192.
Yes.
Yeah, dissolving the county, that would have been a tougher measure,
yes.
but it couldn't be done.
Yes.
In future,
yes.
looking at devolution,
yes.
and some of these challenges that devolution do come with,
yes.
Are there expectations of the national government stepping in and taking charge in some of these aspects?
First of all, I think the way we have operated in the last few months would can easily be interpreted to be circumstances that deserve or that warrant the dissolution of the county. But I think this is a soft landing. It's the easier way out, because dissolving a county is probably not solving the problem. So you mitigate the cause. So I think the issue of transferring the functions is a better option, in the sense that the council still remains intact as it is, and you don't disrupt the existence of that entity.
Yes,
yes,
definitely. And with devolution, we know, governors are the presidents of counties.
Yes.
In this regard, where does it leave the governor of Nairobi?
Well, he's still the chief executive of Nairobi, only that now he's enough. I don't want to use the word incapacitated, because if I use the word incapacitated, it means then he has to vacate office. But he's limited in what he can do because of the pending court cases. And until we know the outcome of those court cases, he will remain limited.
Yes.
And therefore, decision-making for him as the chief executive remains limited.
Definitely.
So it is better for now for those critical functions to go to a body which can perform them without too much struggle.
Definitely.
Because if they are left in the hands of his executives, those executives will need to be guided. They will need to be led. But now, once you delegate, then the delegated authority will be able to carry out those functions without having to refer for guidance.
Definitely.
Yes.
And
they will be using the good practice or the best practice.
Definitely.
Yes.
In fact, you answer our question, and do you think Nairobi County should be managed by the national government? That's the question you're asking our viewers today. And your answer is a definite yes, based on your last response?
That should best be managed by the national government. I'm not a student of that school of thought. I still think that devolution must work. It must be made to work. And therefore, it is for us to do everything and anything to make it work.
Definitely.
Because Nairobi, and there are people who salivate for this transfer of Nairobi to the national government. What is so special about Nairobi as opposed to other capitals in the world? Take all capitals, Canberra, anywhere. Yeah, I know there is Washington, there is whatever. But what about London?
Yes.
London is not managed by the national government. It's managed by the Lord Mayor.
True.
And it has been made to work. We have the inner London and the greater London.
So we have to make devolution work.
Yes.
Whatever may come.
Thank you very much. May come.
Definitely.
Devolution must be made to work.
Definitely, sir.
Yes.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Kinuthia Mwangi, for your input. Kinuthia Mwangi is the former chair of the Transitional Authority, the body which was charged to make sure that there was a proper transfer of national functions from the national government to the county governments. And on this particular note,